Okay, there we go. Let's see. Can I do the live stream? Well, I'm live, so let's see if we get anybody to come through. There's that. Hello, Lincoln. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Haze and delicious. There we go. We're running live now. Now we can take and say anything and do anything you want. Hey, hey, Frank. That's right. Well, Anthony, yeah, it worked. So, okay, guys, what do you want to chat about? Let's see. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Daggone it. I forgot to. Let me see something here. Yeah, long time no see. Dog nabbit. Oh, well. It's not set. You know what? This is just chatting, so.
Where's Hidden?
Yeah, what happened to Hidden? Where'd Hidden go? Flor, you had to come out here and. How in the heck? You know what? I don't even thought. Is that. Let me see something here. Somebody keep chatting here.
Thank you, Penny.
Oh, okay. We gotta change that out. He's hiding.
Today, sir, today. Today.
Yeah, Frank, I don't know much about that stuff.
It's my birthday.
Let's see here. There's that. Dunk, dunk. Pull that there. There we go. I wanted to get rid of that old chat. Now I can get rid of this too. And now I'm going to have to take and change all that and get it back up and running. Well, hello, Penny Parent. How are you today or this evening? Awesome. Floor wants the heads.
Save the head for me. Hello, everyone. Where's Hidden?
Hello, it's me, Brian. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you in. Good to see you. Changing a few things here, guys. There we go.
There's a question and answer. Ask question and
What's on your mind tonight, Robert? Oh, shit. I'll tell you what, James, I got a lot on my mind. I remember something. Oh, that's right, Roadrunner. That's what we need to do, guys. Floor, you ready for your whoopings? Come on, we got to do it before midnight. That's the tradition.
You want whooping or you want me to throw some roll of coins on you? Okay. Here's the B-roll.
Huh. It's a tradition. You want to break a tradition?
Here's the two roll the two. You want me to throw all your slap to you? Here you go. What do you want? NGC, Annex, BCGS? Here you go.
What are you trying to be? A rock star or something?
Thank you, Penny. Have a great day or night.
We've had a little bit of fun today, Penny. You have a nice evening. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. We just come over here just to chit chat, to be honest. Yeah, be about right, Lincoln. Best part is I might have. It wouldn't be that, Lincoln. I'll tell you what would bother me is if she hit me with a roll of Morgans.
Thank you, Doc.
Well, hello, Doug. Doug, are you the one that I happen to take and that lives real close to me and I did a little work for you? If you are Doug, just let me know. I don't know if you're coin related or if you're a Doug that I know that lives real, real close to me. Cindy, so would I promise you.
Who let the dog out?
Hey, Flora. You know, even though we take and we have issues, we probably have to quiet down a little bit. Yeah, if you, hey, Floor, you can come in here and you don't have to scream. Our poor neighbors are probably a little pissed.
Where's my eyeglass? You know why, guys? Robert make me cry today.
Robert didn't. Robert's mom did.
It's my birthday and he want me to work to that. I do the 2 listing for the auction and then he want me, let's go to the coins boss. Boss was calling us.
Why don't you grab a seat?
Yeah, no, I'm going out.
You ain't gonna? Butthead. Your fans are calling.
I thought my birthday gift will be ta 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 aloha. But no, I didn't get it.
She's liable to. She keeps screaming.
Nah, neighbor love me. See, they allowing me to get their Wi-Fi password.
Frank's waving hi to you.
Hello, guys. What you doing?
Putting the camera up where they can see your head and don't cut it off.
Oh boy.
And you guys thought she was only like that every now and then. She's always crazy. Now she picked me, what can I say? From Little Rock, man, yet forgive my tardiness. All voice activated my sisters.
My eyes are bad, Sister Jo. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, but the truth is I'm already...
Oh, Doug Crawford. Okay, I didn't know Doug because I've got a friend who watches. His name is Doug also. That I did some construction work for him. But if you're from Little Rock, hey, I won't hold that against you. Hey, I don't mind helping anybody.
What's mahogany?
Huh? Mahogany? Where do you see mahogany?
I see it is mahogany or walnut.
What are you talking about?
Did you see that Roadrunner said?
Is it mahogany or walnut? Really?
Uh-huh. The pebbles.
Okay.
The
Buckeye, Roadrunner, Buckeye. You know what the definition of a Buckeye is?
Cindy, to be honest, my age was stopped on 18. Yeah, every time
At least up here it did.
When we go to our big boss, Sir Brad, they make me cry again over there. And after let me cry, they buy me a lunch. Don't worry, I will treat you a lunch as your birthday gift. Yes, sir. Oh, hi.
Hello, HD Shovelhead.
Hello. I need to go out now.
You don't have to, but if you want to, go ahead.
I'll be back. Wait a minute, guys. Smoke break.
So what's on everybody's mind tonight? What's everyone up to this weekend? What are y'all doing? While you guys are saying hello to each other, I'm going to grab me a cup of coffee.
Doing, to be honest, work.
Can you put the decibels lower for the neighbors? You bitch at them because they make a lot of noise.
Yeah, there's a horse upstairs.
I know. Roadrunner, I had to pick my own switch too, so. Yeah, you know what, HG? Was supposed to cool off here too. Alright, Anthony, cool. Like I said, what's on your all's mind? Let's talk about you guys. I'm always talking about me. I mean, I got stories for almost every damn thing, to be honest. Okay, Lincoln, you know what? With me doing my construction, doing that bathroom job I'm doing, I took and I haven't had a chance to keep up with nothing in the community. I really haven't. I don't even know who Bella's dad is as far as for the benefit auction. I'm out of touch right now. Thanks, Doug. Actually, I do love her. Even though she's cracky, or she's nuttier than hell, but I love her for that. She keeps me laughing. And that's a fact. Yeah, well, Roadrunner, the house, to give you an idea, the guy's into coins. But when I had a situation earlier in my life, not real early, I mean, we're talking probably 15, 20 years ago, this person, he was big in the coin business, and he backed me 100% when I had a few people that wasn't, and it was all because it had nothing to do with coins, but it's a personal thing I really don't want to go into. However, he now is an older gentleman, and he has cancer. They didn't expect him to live actually they gave him 2 weeks to live, and that was 1.5 years ago. But I made a commitment to myself. I mean, I only made it to myself. I don't have to hold to it, but I'm just that kind of person. And I said I was going to stick around and help him until his final days. So he had a construction worker that did honestly shoddy work, and I've been repairing it a little bit at a time for him. And so in his bathroom, they asked me to come down and do a different job, and I happened to notice a bucket, and they thought the drain, or they thought the commode was leaking. And I looked up on the ceiling, and the only thing over the ceiling was a shower. And so I took and I went up and threw a little water on that, and here the shower pan was all cracked. So okay, Doug Crawford, I'm not certain what that's for, but okay, have fun with that. Let's see. Yeah, HD, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's that talk to text if someone really ape shit or what. Well, Patrick, what it was is the shower pan was cracked. Whoever put the shower pan in, they put spacers underneath it, and that left the center of it really weak, and, well, it cracked. So I'm putting a new one in. Ooh, Frank, I bet that depends on that, the context of that sentence. I'll bet that was fun. Damn, Frank. That would really be... Oh, boy, I could tell you a story about... After you said that, Frank, man, it's a shame how I can put those words together, and Actually, I'd be embarrassed to say what I... Yeah, we're just gonna let that go. I hope it wasn't too Well, Frank, look at it this way. I'm just sitting here thinking of all the bad things that could have happened to the wrong people. Your mom? Holy shit! My mom would probably take and pass out if I'd have said something like that. Now, I'd find it humorous if one of my kids did that. Well, Frank, you know what? That's cool. She has a sense of humor. See, my mom, I don't even think she gets a text. Yeah. No. Now, Frank, that one sentence that you just wrote tells me a lot about your past, my friend. Sorry, buddy. I call them as I see them. Oh, Frank, I'll tell you what, buddy. Yeah. Oh, shit. I know some really, really strange people, Frank. So, and I'm not suggesting you, but I'm just saying. So when I heard that, and then you said that, and my head just went pow. But it's all good. I'll tell you what, it's fun. I enjoy a good laugh. Oh, man. Exactly. Zing! Well, some people, it might have just went pew. Doug Crawford, I think they recommend you put, what was it? God. I'm now in the coin mindset, and I'm not thinking building mindset, but we take and we normally put thin set under them. However, this was a really, really nice self-leveled, and we put 2 rows of plywood on it, and then we just took and put some drywall mud under it to give it more reinforcement. Once that dries, I am not worried about it cracking again, I'll put it that way. Oh, there you go, Coin Dragon. Hell, Frank. You know what, my dad used to play guitar, Frank, and I learned for a while, but I mean, I started to learn, I should say, and I got to where I could play a lot of the chords, a lot of the simpler ones. Got to know how to play a few of them, like the boogie. There's a few of them I learned how to play, but I took and I quit when I was young. I took and got a car and got interested in other things, and my guitar playing days went south. But my dad was a damn good guitar player. He took and he could have taken, Frank, he had an offer to play with, I want to say Merle Haggard, but I could be mistaken. We're talking in the 60s, so you may know some of it. He was a young star at the time, but my dad was offered to play with him, and he already had 3 children, and he couldn't take off it. My mom wouldn't let him, so. Well, there you go, Frank, yeah. I've got another friend who took in, the same thing happened to him, but now he's about our age, maybe a little younger by 5 or 10 years, and he started his own band again. His kids were all adults, or young adults, and he decided to start his band, or start a band. I don't know if he's got it for him, or if it's somebody else and he's playing in it, but I know he goes out and they play gigs from time to time. I don't think he's planning on getting rich off of the gigs, but he also works at Procter & Gamble, and he's pretty up in the echelon there, so he ain't got to worry about the money aspect of it. Well, Frank, I'll tell you what. Get your groove on, baby. I'll tell you what. Get out there and have fun. Well, find you a seat. I mean, hell, look at some of the old timers that are out there now. Shit, they sit down on chairs and, just sit there with the guitar in their lap and strum away. Actually, what I want to get back into, Frank, is I have taken in one time in my life, I painted an oil painting when I was about 14. And a friend of mine who paints a lot, he took, and I was at a yard sale and I found this big old container of paints, brushes, and all that stuff. And I bought them for like $5. I was going to give it to this friend of mine. And someone said, well, your daughter, she likes to paint, so I was going to get it for her, but she don't do the oil painting and stuff. So I actually bought some canvases, and I've just been afraid to pick them up and start on it. So, ooh, wow, Patrick. You know what, Patrick, that would be cool. I know this friend that I'm doing the construction work for, he's got a baby grand in his living room. That's no joke. Well, Frank, then drop some of them. If a hobby ain't fun, and if it's taking up way too much of your time, then drop a few of them. They're just a hobby. I mean, heck, isn't this for having fun? That's sort of another reason why I haven't picked up the brushes, because I just don't have the time. Well, Frank, if that's what it is, nothing wrong with that. Oh, see, I'm not. To me, well, Anthony, now that's like me. I am very hard pressed to just take and to sit idly by. That's cool, Patrick. Guys, I enjoy learning stuff. That's why I still have fun in this hobby. Because I love the history of it. Now, Frank, my dad, he could play the guitar, the piano, the organ, harmonica, banjo, oh heck, what's that called? The squeeze box thing. Oh, I know what it's called, but I can't think of it right now. The one that the Germans usually use. And no, I'm not talking about the Irish things. Oh shit, I know what it is. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, and I know you guys probably know what it is. Accordion. Thank you, Frank. But yeah, he could play all of those, and he was good at them. He was one of those ones, he could pick up an instrument almost all the time. Now, he never did much with the trumpets, horns, or anything like that. I love the history of the hobby, but the thrill of cherry picking has really got me hooked. Cindy, now that's what got me hooked, was the thrill of cherry picking. Guys, you know what? When I tell everybody on the other channel that I don't cherry pick this stuff here, I don't. What you see me sell in varieties is when I go to the coin store and I do just nothing but cherry pick for a couple of major coin stores here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And that's all I do is I go there, and that's all my job is. In fact, that 1999 Close AM I cherried it today. They bought about 200 proof sets, and I found that one, only that one. So Frank, how many double profiles would you like to see? I've probably got 6 of them in the other room. What the hell you need an axe for, Patrick? Good night, Doug. You have a nice evening. Now see, Frank, I'm not that good on electronics, but I can wire your house. Good night, Doug. Frank, how much are those double profile 66s going for? Because I probably got 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different ones right now. Okay. Anthony, I've got a friend who is a... Frank, I've seen your Tesla coil. I remember you talking about that, and I followed your website, and I watched, I guess you did a video on it. Is that right, Frank? I think it was yours I watched, where you built your own Tesla coil. But I've got a dear friend of mine, a lifetime friend, in fact. He took, and he's a electronic engineer or something like that. Yeah, I thought you did. You had 3 of them. I think I seen different stages of it, Frank, that you had, that you sent me a link, I think it was. It might have been in the email. But that's cool. I'll tell you what, Tesla is, now see guys, I learned about Tesla. I learned about Tesla a long time ago. No shit, Frank. Or I mean Patrick. I just thought of that. He sort of reminds me of a mix. Patrick, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Frank reminds me of a mix between Tesla and Einstein. Well, Frank, I'll tell you what, those are cool. I love Tesla. I really respect him, too. Well, Frank, I mean, it actually was intended to be one. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it just... I mean, because, you know, the hair goes a little bit, but also the Tesla part, I think it's a nice mix. I'll tell you what, I would love to have been around Nikola Tesla and picked his brain when his brain was working really at its top. Could you imagine that, Frank? Wouldn't that be a fun thing to do? I mean, sit and chat like we're doing right now. Man, I'd be asking him so many questions. I bet you would have. I mean, I know enough about electricity to know I don't know about electricity. And I think you understand what I mean by that, but I know a little bit about all the other stuff. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Top 960 in a GIF. I got a friend who takes in, he took off of a, I don't know if he had, I'm trying to think how he did that. But he took in, Anthony, I've heard that, but I also heard that the papers went back to his native country. What is that? I got it, the bills in the other room. I can show you some bills from Tesla from his native country. They say the paperwork went back there. That somehow, but there's people that say that the U.S. government kept some of the Croatia. Thank you. They say the U.S. government kept a lot of the papers, though. And as I say, somebody said something up there about conspiracy people. Anthony Goodley, let me hit you up with this one. Conspiracy quacks, nuts, call them whatever you want. I don't care what you adorn them with. I took and I told my children, I said, all those quacks, nuts, and whatever else you want to adorn these people with, in name. Here, when I was a kid, I remember all those conspiracy people being called that. Today, probably, and Frank, I don't know, me and you are close to the same age. All those conspiracy nuts has been proven to be accurate in the upwards of like 90+%. And I mean, we're talking high 90, 95%. Frank, you could be right. No, I have not. I've not even heard of him, to be honest with you, Frank. I've been so entrenched in, honestly, in Nikolai Tesla. That's the only one I've ever checked it out. Real master plumbers have to know underground to top out. Yeah, Frank, to be honest, I've been trying to figure out what the hell it is, because I know when he was out in Colorado, I think he tapped into something that really... Okay, I'll have to check into him then, Frank. That's interesting. Anthony, you know what? That's a scary thing. And don't get me wrong, I mean, shit, how long ago has that been, Anthony? Just out of curiosity. Well, hell yeah, because of the AC current versus the DC. 84, you know what, Anthony? And again, I'm not trying to underscore, but what you've seen back then is probably being used today, or, you know, it's probably been pulled out of the top secret now. Gotcha, Frank. See, that's what I'm saying, Frank. I'm trying to figure out, like I say, I'm trying to figure out his big experiment where he had to, I believe the way I understand it and read, he had bulbs that were buried in the ground that he was somehow powering by that stuff that he was doing out in Colorado. You gotta be shitting me, Frank. Well, okay, no, Frank. Now that you mention it, it's been about 25 years for me, too. That's been kept secret for a long time. Exactly, Frank. Roadrunner knew that. Cindy, I've heard about that, and I've heard a lot of theories on that. Hell, I don't know that there's ever been a accurate accounting of anybody that's been in there. Ah. Well, Anthony, you know what? That's... water it down. I'm not certain they're not looking to potentially do a reset. Well, hell yeah, Frank. Frank, you know, and now listen, I can put on many hats. As a businessman, if I was J.P. Morgan, I'd have done the same damn thing to him. I mean, Tesla was talking about giving everybody electricity throughout the world for free, bringing it out of the atmosphere. What the hell? You can't make no money off of that. But, you know, I think Morgan had too much... he had too much... He couldn't see the full picture, Frank, because to me, I think if they'd have put everything into electricity... And I was just seeing a little electrical tool the other day. Or one of those little flying tools, whatever the hell they call them. I was looking at one of those, and you know what I was thinking? If Morgan would have had more foresight, look at all the parts. They could have made all their money off of the parts. Give them the energy for free. We would have absolutely saved a lot of our resources. Yes, the drone. Thank you, Cindy. But we have saved a lot of our resources. And, okay, so we're taking and using up some metal, some copper, stuff like that. Something that we probably have pretty much an endless supply of. Oh yeah, Frank, I agree with that. Hell yeah, he would have never been a damn business guy. I mean, what was it with Westinghouse? He ripped up a $50,000 contract that today would have made him richer than Bill Gates. Roadrunner, they take and they believe that Tesla is actually the grandfather of the cell phones today. I believe is the way what I understand, they theorize it. And Roadrunner, don't worry, you ain't gotta scratch nothing off here. Shit. I promise you, I'll make some mistakes. But see, Frank, that's what I'm saying. Who cares about getting money off of the energy per se? If you could have salvaged the atmosphere. I mean, guys, I don't know what we're doing to the atmosphere. I don't know that we're making it healthy. But by the same token, I don't know that we're destroying it like people say. And I only say that because I know for a fact growing up, I remember let's just go back to Mount St. Helens when that exploded or blew out or whatever the hell you want, erupted. That put more carbon monoxide into the atmosphere in a few hours than what the whole world puts out probably in a week or a month. Maybe even a year or two, I think I seen. Someone said that. One of the scientists, they was talking about it. You know what, Anthony? I theorized about that. I love to take and to speculate. I love science. But you know what? A lot of people don't understand dark energy even today, other than they know it's something. It's something that is keeping everything together. That's the way I've theorized it. But I've also looked into quantum physics.
Dang, it goes on. I hate more.
Well, what is Frank, you might know this, or maybe one of you guys will know this. Okay, Frank, I hear what you're saying there, and I read through that. Isn't that all you really need is two, a positive and a negative? Or do you need to take in... What I don't understand is the new Frank, I'm waiting for the rest of it to let you finish up what you're... Because I see what you're saying. It sounds interesting. And I'm just an amateur at this shit, so I don't have the knowledge that you and Anthony have. I just remember listening to my friend who was an electronic engineer, and he talked about a lot of shit that I got enough of an idea to make me dangerous, I'll put it that way. (1952), Cindy, 1952. The same year that Superman, no Coin Dragon 52. That's the same year that Superman came out on the TV as a series. Anthony, I watch a lot of videos too. I'll be honest, guys. I love to watch conspiracy, what people call conspiracy nuts, because I think a lot of them, you learn a lot of shit from them. The Earth's core is a Dynamo. Well, I know the Earth's core is supposed to be made of, what is it, 80% iron ore? Is that right? Or a large percentage is iron ore, something like that. And what's iron ore? Nickel mostly? I thought it was mainly iron ore. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anthony, and what I have learned. Is that what it is, Frank? Okay, well. Anthony, with what you said, you know what? I don't necessarily believe it all either. But like you say, I'm very open-minded for the simple fact that I know, just from what I have seen, and Nikolai Tesla is a perfect example. We have taken, and I think the governments with a plural, has tried to shut down critical thinking, independent thinking. I think that's why I never could be. I like to be my own boss. Now, what's that, Frank? I'm not familiar with that word. I don't know. I've been getting into quantum physics, watching a lot of studies done on quantum physics, and that's true. Talk about the realm of possibilities. And then especially if you put it into a damned computer. Frank, I wouldn't say all things being equal, but I would say that there's a pattern. And I remember when I was in school, when we was in science class when we was young, and I remember looking at the I remember looking at the atom, and they were breaking it down. Yeah, I think it is a paradox. Oh, you can, that'd be cool. But when I seen the atom and the way the protons and neutrons acted, I said, well, shit, that looks like our solar system. And then when you blow it out and you keep going farther and farther, it looks like everything keeps repeating. Anthony, I could not agree with that 100% more. Because of what you just said, Anthony. You know, what you know. You know, I mean, and I don't mean this in any fashionable kind of way, but what you know is what you know. You know, could you just imagine what computers know today, and if they put it into artificial intelligence, what's going to happen? Let's see here. Roadrunner, yeah, Murphy's Law. Occam raises instances that when presented with competing hypotheses that make the same predictions, one should select the solution with the fewest assumptions. Anthony, I say that a lot. I don't know what I don't know. And a lot of people don't understand that simple sentence, Anthony. And you know what? I remember when I first heard that, I had to sit down and think about it, and I really contemplated that. I actually meditated on that for like a week, and then I understood it, I think, completely, and that shut my mouth for a while. But Frank, I feel there's a flaw in that. Where did I see that? Now that you mention that, Frank. Roadrunner, I assume that was meant to be a joke. Yeah, Frank, I can believe that. You could have people come knocking on your damn door. Amen, Cindy. I like what Cindy said. I like that. Well, Anthony, that's with me. You know what, Anthony? Just like in the coin hobby, I mean, it's sort of what Frank was talking about with something else. I think it was Frank. Whoever says they know everything, they're full of shit. Well, that's the same with coins, but I just like learning, and today with them, I mean, hey, look at what we're talking on. It's just, there's so much information that Frank could teach me, Frank can teach Cindy, Patrick, you, Anthony, and vice versa. You know, just take the few people that are in here now. What do we got? 10 people watching. You just combine our 10 knowledge, and holy shit, we could be dangerous then. Well, that's true, Frank. Well, Frank, you know, let's guys look at it this way. Look at the one lie that they've told us throughout our life. I don't care what it is. The government has lied to us so much about so many things. I mean, there is just so many false statements out there. I mean, my God, I can sit there and watch TV and watch the same person say two different things within the same week and say, oh no, I didn't say that. It's like, really? It's on TV. But I just feel that Frank, and actually everybody in this room here, because Anthony, if you was in 84, 80, 76, yeah, you had to be 64-ish baby. So you was there. Well, Cindy, and that's what it's about. But all I was going to say is 66. Okay, I said 64. I was close. See, Anthony, now you was at a cusp of the educational, where I think it started to go downhill. Patrick, you're a young pup. You might have missed that curve. You got to be a self-thinker anymore. If you're not a self-thinker, guys, okay, Anthony, but you know, if you're not a self-thinker, I don't, you know, well, I know what I think you would be in society today, but you'd be the one that learned just enough to run the toys. You know, who was that? George Carlin, who said they don't want society smart. That's okay, Cindy. You're sitting around. You're listening. When I was young, I liked to listen to the old people talk. You know what, Frank? I was one of those children in school. I would piss around all the time. And amen, Anthony. Trust me, I know that all too well. But I would take and be the one always pissing around in school. Then when it come time to take a test, I just take the test. I never studied for it. I enjoyed gym, Frank, because I was a hyper kid. I was always out running. Social studies, not so much. I didn't care for that because that required me sitting down. Oh, I love George Carlin too. He's smart fella there. Me neither, Frank. I never did either one of them. But now, let me put it this way. I never did study. I never did homework. When I get home from school, I had 2 older sisters. And I agree with that, Frank. Carlin was a genius. But when I got home from school, my sisters would be doing their homework. They were both ahead of me in school. So I would sit there, I learned what their homework was, and I'd do it for them so that they could come outside and play with me, because we lived out in the country and the only one to play with was our, just us kids. So that's sort of kind of why when I got into school, I never studied, because I already knew the stuff from a year or 2 earlier. Ha ha ha. Okay, Roadrunner, I get that one. I'll tell you what, guys, and this is not a political statement, but I was telling my kids the other day, I said, I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone, because as soon as Donald Trump got elected, things that were right are now wrong, and things that were wrong are now right. And it's like, I've just stopped watching the news. That's exactly what it was, Anthony Goodley, Fantasy Island. The plane, boss, the plane. If you judge the intelligence of a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will always be considered dumb. I agreed. And you know what coined Dragon Frank? Okay, Cindy, I'll wait, but while you do, my entire life, Frank, was to find, because I was the boss. I mean, I've had my company since I was 19. Or a company since I've been 19. From time to time I get other ones, but my job, in my opinion, was to take and to find people's strengths and use them on my jobs where their strengths were, because I found out anybody, or not anybody, but everybody has something that they can help. Parallel universes, Mandela effect. I'm sure something is going on. Anthony, that's well. Patrick, you are on a different page. Guys, I'm not so certain the parallel universes, the Mandela effect, I'm not certain that don't exist, because, and I don't know, maybe it's from me being old or something, but I've seen shadows and stuff, and I've wondered. I don't know if it's true or if it's not, but, I mean, I'm waiting for Cindy to say, there it is. He asked, why do they use alcohol swabs before giving the lethal? I remember that, Cindy. Yeah, that is crazy as flip. I mean, yeah, why do you use an alcohol swab if you're going to give a lethal injection? Wow. It's all perceived. How you, I don't know. It's what they want you to think. Give you the perception of caring, I guess. I don't know. I'll tell you what, sometimes I stopped asking what the hell the government's doing, because some of the times none of it makes any damn sense. I think, Frank, you can probably remember when they was doing the, what was it, $20,000 toilet seat or commode for the space shuttle or one of them? Yeah, Frank, that is true. It's a near miss. That's what I say. It is. It's You're right. That's about the way. Well, Frank, you know what? 22 trillion dollars is a lot of flipping do re mi. It's got to be going somewhere. Because I'll tell you what, when I look at the books, I don't. That's another thing. When I look at the books, it don't add up. Somebody's getting their pockets lined, or some projects. Anthony Goodley, that's happened to poor scientists throughout history as far as the math predicting the 10 or 11 dimensions. And you're, talking about how it wouldn't have been long ago they would have been out of a career. Twice what, Frank? I missed something here. Well, twice more, huh? Okay. Frank, that hypothesis you had above there, the razor, whatever it is, that damn thing's been around for a long time, hasn't it? I mean, we're talking back in the, maybe back into, oh God, I'm talking maybe back into the 14th century when that came about, or did somebody update it? Because I'm trying to think. That might be an understatement. Hoping I got that right. Okay, I was right. Just checking. Ancient Chinese secret. The hell are you keeping the secret from, Patrick? Patrick, we're all friends here. Well, Frank, when you look at it, now this is going to go into the conspiracy theory. Carbon testing. I mean, I've seen the tests that they've actually done that it's been a bunch of bullshit. Well, I don't know if you've seen the study, but there was a group of people that took and went to grave sites that had actual dates on the graves. And they took them and had them carbon dated. And when they had the carbon dating done, I think they did one from a 40-year-old grave, a 200-year-old grave, and maybe a 400-year-old grave, I believe. You can look the test up. It's somewhere out there. But they were off by, I think the oldest one, they were off into the millions of years to where they was off on the carbon dating. Yeah, but Frank, aren't you afraid that the doctor's going to get a little I mean, aren't you afraid of them putting you in a padded room or something? I do that all the time, Anthony. It's the only way I can get a sane answer. Too many looks and stuff. Good luck with that one, Patrick. There you go, Frank. As long as it's coins, huh? Shit, Cindy, I'll tell you what, you come take a look at some of the stuff I have and you'd need to go to a padded room. You'd be flipping out, at least for a while. There you go, Anthony. All you have to do is ask and you shall receive. Now, see, guys, that's another thing. I think that, and Frank, I'd like to hear your opinion on this, but I honestly believe that we can take, and I think we have masked a lot of our feelings, or not feelings, but our, well, feelings, yes, but, in a metaphorical way to where we can, you know, I remember when they used to have the Great Kreskin. I believe there's still, that we have part of that, you know, that you can feel things, and a lot of times we just, we push it down, and we're told that we can't from an early age, that, you know, you're not supposed to know these things and things of that, suppressed, right? And I'm not certain, Frank, that they're not suppressed. You know, I've seen these conspiracy theorists that say that, yeah, and I think that's true too, Frank. I really do believe it's done on purpose, because I think that if the majority of people knew the potential that they have, the government stuff would not make a lot of sense. Well, the kind of feelings I'm talking about, Patrick, is I remember when my father passed away. He had a heart attack, and they kept him alive for like 3.5 days. And after he took and passed, I remember I took and I went home and I went to sleep, and you know, we slept for a long time, but I slept for a long time. I mean, like 18 hours. But I'll never forget when I went back to work. I mean, when my father passed, I felt it. And when about a week had passed and I was out working and I had that same feeling in my body, and I came home and I told my wife at the time, I said, "Who died in the family?" And she says, "Nobody has." And when she said that, we sat down, you know, got dinner, all that, forgot all about it, was watching the news that night, and about the same time of the day that I had that feeling was when they had, at that time, it was the largest aircraft accident, and I think 300 or 237 or 327 souls had passed. And I don't know, I've lost that feeling now to where I don't know, it sort of kind of scared me, and I sort of wanted to suppress it. Let's see here, I gotta read up on it, let's see. Okay, Frank. I've seen the future more than once via. Well, Anthony, that would be interesting. That'd be something to pick a brain at. See now, Frank, you know, if you open that can of worms right there, I'll tell you what, I'd love to get into the over there to roam and get into the basement and start looking through some papers. I'll just put it that way, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Well, see, Frank, I guess that's what you could say I did. I just turned them off myself. Because, you know, it is a feeling. Yeah, could you imagine the information that's there? Shit. I'll tell you what, I'll bet that'd make me and you probably drool or slobber one or sit in the corner and I don't know. Well, Cindy, there you go. You know what? That's what we ought to do, guys. We need to have a bullshit session where we just sit around, find some intellects to just throw. I mean, you know, a lot of people call it crazy ideals out there. I'm not so certain they're so flipping crazy, like I said, with the knowledge I have, and I'm just talking about what I said before as far as watching these so-called conspiracy quacks and shit that all of a sudden, you know, today, looking backwards, 95, 98% of them have been proven correct. And then it makes you wonder. Interesting point of view, Patrick. Oh, Frank, you know, you talk about the negativity. I think, you know what, Frank, here's one thing I know. And I had to teach this the floor. And I personally believe this, guys. I believe in the different people have different they have different terminologies for it, but the law of attraction is probably the best way it's known. And you know what, Frank, what you're saying about Cindy, I think I turned mine off there, like you said up above.
I am a short man.
And Anthony, are you sure that you say unfortunately? Are you sure about that? That's one thing I learned from Flora a long time ago. I said something to her and she's like, "Are you sure?" Or something like that. And the reason I say that, Anthony, because sometimes those premonitions can be pretty scary and we suppress them. And I think that's what me and Frank was talking about just a little bit ago. Those premonitions can take and sometimes be extremely scary. Or maybe you just don't want to, Anthony. Just saying. We have 4 people in this damn chat and 11 people watching. I'll tell you what, so we got 4 people in the chat. One of them's just sitting there listening. So that'd be 5. So we got 6 people that are thinking we're all nuts. Oh, no, 4 of them. One of them's Floor. I'm sorry.
Hey! Let's relate on what the topic is.
No, you didn't. No, I'm not saying that. You did fine on that. That's not what I'm saying. Oh, Mavato's listening. Okay, we're down to 3 that thinks we're a nut. Well, Mavato, you might be thinking we're a nut too. You know it, Anthony, neither do I. Hello, Donald Harmon. How you say, guys? Just a BS session.
BS session. Question and answer of the coin word.
No, this is just a bullshit session, period. Just having a little bit of fun.
I want to tell you something.
You might be right about that, Patrick. That's okay. I don't care.
I want to tell you something, guys.
Shit. Here we go.
When I came here, and then I see Robert was been sitting on his table, computer table, okay, with a bunches of coins. And then after a while, I hear Robert talking while researching the coins or searching the coins. And I said to myself, did I marry a crazy man? Why he always talking to himself? So, time passed by, Robert bring me to the coin show, introduced me to Sir Brad. And then the owner of the coin store was also a crazy man, okay? He was sitting on his table and he's talking to himself also. And then I said, just like, I don't want to be a coin collector or a dealer because they talking to themselves. And then after a while, I'm doing my foreign coins. Now I understand why. I also talking to myself while I do my researching.
Oh boy. Anthony, I still think I can put people in timeout in this room.
I'm going to wash my face. Oh my God. I remember.
Here, why don't you talk to him for just a second while I use the bathroom first?
I wanted to wash
I know,
my
I just want to
face.
use the bathroom. You can say hi to him for a minute.
I said, hi! Yeah, I never realized that doing the coin searching or researching will make you crazy. I was doing my searching. What the heck is this coin? What's going on with you? What is the... Hello, Coin Dragon. I was getting ready to wash my face to go to bed. If you're not looking into mirror with lipstick, is that okay, Flor? Yeah. I removed my... Hello, Cindy. Let's put the coin on the... What you call that? What shall I... Sudan, you will... Ah! Hari Juwanta dun sudan tiba mazayan ka untuk pikiran dip. Is that wait a minute. Is that Indian word, sir? I talk to my cats all the time. They are pretty smart. Oh, when I plant the tomato in the front of the house, I'm talking to my plant also. But the butthead there eat my tomato. It's a gibberish. Is that gibberish? The word? Hari jua. Sudah di bawah saya. Is that Indian? Dang! Han, come here! There's a crazy man over here! There's a hole in the bucket. Come here! I don't know, they was using me a Latin word. It's Friday, it's time for deep talk. Here, you're the crazy man so you can pitch them. Later, guys! Ow, ow, ow!
I got 4 of them in. Hello, Blues Coins. Hello, Joey Ellis. Ellis. Hi, Robert. As long as you don't start answering yourself, you're okay. Shit, Joey, how you expect me to get a damn good answer if I don't answer myself? Sure as hell I ain't gonna get it from... Well, maybe I would. Frank, so do I. Blues, I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to wrap this up. I gotta go across town tomorrow and search. I think I was told about $300 face in silver. Anything goes Friday, that's right. Oh no, Anthony, I've had downright out arguments with myself. Ain't that right, Frank? After a certain point, it's an argument. I scare myself sometimes. Now, Cindy, many years ago, I ain't going there. So have I, Blues. I think that's a gimme, isn't it? What's really bad is when you have an argument with yourself and you wake up the next morning and you got a black eye because you punched yourself. Now, that's getting bad. Frank, that's a little deep. Roadrunner, I've done that. I've made stupid mistakes in that. You know what? Some people think that I'm pissed at them whenever I get mad at myself, and all it is I'm getting pissed at myself, and I do project it onto other people by, you know, getting excited, loud, and stuff like that, not meaning to. Anthony, way understated. No, Blues, there wasn't no police report. I wouldn't file charges on myself. Problem is, I don't know how the fight started or ended. Well, that's true too, Patrick. Let's play pretend. Now we're getting too damn deep, guys. That's getting too personal, I think. I've said that too many times, Frank. Thank God they didn't give dogs a brain like they did man. Cindy, I have went out and bought myself coins as a sympathy and stuff of that nature. Could you imagine how the world would be? You think? I don't know if that's a good idea, Anthony. Okay, guys, this is getting a little out of hand now. Anthony, you know what? Oh well. I don't know. I don't know. Do I have it like that? I don't know. I don't even look to see how I had it set up. Let me see what my. Oh shit! Did I just lose myself? I don't think so. No. Okay. Okay. It looks to me like I got it set up that way, Anthony. Frank, I could take it. I think I could really argue that point. Well, let me rephrase that. It could be taken out of context real easy. Frank, give it 5 years and I don't give a shit who you are. It's gonna get disseminated and it can be taken out of context, and everything else with the new computer technology I've seen that they have, especially the one where there is a camera and it's focused just on the mouth of a person, and they can take another person and, you know, using technology, they can go ahead and change everything up. I mean, to where, you know, the sky is blue can be changed to the sky is black today or something of that nature, just because they're able to do all that shit. Anthony, that's what I'm referring to. And the sad part is, the problem with all that is, guys, you know, what we know today. I don't know about you guys, but I can see the, yeah, I did not inhale exactly, Patrick, but I can see where the internet was a wonderful and great thing, but I believe it, Anthony. And Frank, you're right about that. Man, you know what? After Frank just said that up above, I'm afraid that they can even comment on that, Cindy. It can get raunchy. Well, Patrick, you know what? With what you just said there, look at the context of just words themselves. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, when we get collections, you know, I was saying, you know, somebody said tonight that I have a pawn shop. I've got some, actually, we've had purses, they're like a chain mail, or chain mail, whatever they call that. And it was really, really popular back in the late 20s, early 30s. And actually, I think it lasted up into possibly the 50s, but back then, you know, just words meant so much, they were so different than what they are today. So, what we're talking about here right now, we could be making totally clear, sensible statements, and in 100 years, or 50 years, 75 years, how are they going to take them out of context, potentially? Well, Frank, there's your biggest pushers of all times. Okay, Frank, that might be a little more personal than I want to go. Joey, that's very accurate. You know what, Patrick? No offense, but think about this. What if just putting that alphabet soup in the chat, if that don't get you watched for a while? I mean, they're trying to head that way. Oh, you know what, Patrick? I don't worry about that shit no more, to be honest with you. I remember when they took in... I don't even want to go into it. Frank, I